G'day fishers, I've been chasing up reports, some flowing in, some not so much flowing in. Dartmouth's gone a little bit on the quiet side for us. There's a few fish getting caught, but down rigging, lead lining, nothing special. 2 or 3 for the day seems to be pulling it up down there at the moment. Probably somebody caught bucket loads more, but majority of people I've been talking to, a bit average. Hume Weir, cracking. Heaps of reddies, no shortage of them at all. A lot of small stuff, some good ones. Go and get a feed, take the kids out, take yourself out. I mean, it's just fun. I mean, you're not going to enjoy it any more than that, I can tell you. Bait, lure. Lure's a bit cheaper because you don't lose many lures, but bait, you're going to go through a worm or a yabby every time you get a bite. So just keep that in mind. Little blades, little soft plastics, little Lunker City soft plastic, especially in the whites, seem to be doing all right at the moment, but I don't think the colours are that critical. Mulwala, a little bit of activity out of Mulwala, reasonably happy with it. There's a few reasonable cod, but quite a few small fish getting caught down there. But as it cools down, I think we'll see a bit of movement in the bigger fish without too much trouble at all. Murrumbidgee River, woo, how good's that? Bait fishermen are doing exceptionally well. Starting to get some nice fish on lures too. Trolling or casting, it doesn't seem to matter a great deal. Put in a bit of time. Anywhere from sort of Wannabadgery, Nangus all the way down to Berrinbed. Usually it's from Wagga down at the moment, even up around that Hour, Nangus, Wannabadgery area. It seems to be fishing quite well. You may have seen that monster trout cod that we posted the other day. That was caught up near Hour. Huge fish. The biggest ones I've ever seen have come from that area. So looking promising. That one we reckon was probably a frag over a metre, but yeah. You can all argue about the one for as long as you like, it doesn't really matter. It's a big, big fish and put up a good fight, I can tell you from what the fella was telling me. And Compleat River, worth a bit of a nosy, certainly worth flicking a lure or two around, drifting a bait. Fly fishermen might struggle there at the moment, but I think if you're drifting down in a boat, which is pretty dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, drift boat would be perfect. You might pick up some good fish on the fly. Blowering, a lot of redfin coming out of it, a lot of small ones as well. Once you find that school of bigger fish, you're going to do well. Some nice yellow belly starting to show up at Blowering and some big cod, so it's looking real promising. Won't be long before you see the march of the monsters, what I call the march of the monsters, the real big cod starting to move. Looking real hot for this season. Got a new shipment of mag draft coming in. The little Megabass Mag Draft 8-inch, a couple of new colours. They won't be much longer, probably about another 4 or 5 weeks, just in time for the start of the reel season, and they are hot to trot. They'll be a really good colour, so keep that one in mind. A little bit of activity out of Wangler. Well, a lot more than a little bit, quite a bit. Very pleased with it at the moment. It's more consistent than the other dams, so some good cod. The yellows are starting to move a little bit again. Around the trees with soft plastic seems to be the good. Slow rolling, definitely covering the options pretty well. Bait fishing's always pretty good at Wangler Dam. Windermere's starting to pick up, which was a bit of a surprise. It's been dead for a while now. Burrendong, slowed a little bit, but a little bit of activity up in that area. Yucabine, Tantangra, Jindabyne. Getting a few reports from there, not as many as I'd like, but there is a few trout coming out. There's some really good catches out of Uke and out of Tantangra on a little Yakamito, a little fat, I just can never remember the name of the thing. I should have one in my hand when I'm doing this report. It's X-Shad or something like that. It's an amazing lure. Just come in and ask Rod for the little fat trout lure, because it is amazing. I kid you not, they're actually cleaning up on this thing up there, and it's only been this season we've been using it, and it's really cracking. So as you can see, we've got a fair bit of activity around us at the moment. So if you want to report on somewhere that I haven't mentioned, or a bit more in-depth report, feel free to give us a ring. If we've got time, I'll give you a rundown over the phone. Catch you next week.